How's everybody doing today? Well, people's favorite, or one of their favorite sports celebrities is back in the news. How's everybody doing? You would think Tiger Woods would have learned by now after his last divorce from his wife. Elon was her name? Elaine? Whatever it was. You would have thought that you would have known better than to get involved again. Let's take a look on what he's got going. Tiger Woods' ex-girlfriend previously sued Woods for $30 million after breakup. That's right, she's going for $30 million. Let's find out why. A complaint by Erica Herman, Tiger Woods' former girlfriend, filed against Woods this week, was preceded by litigation filed in October against the golfer, according to court documents. On October 26, 2022, Herman filed a complaint against Juniper Island Irrevocable Homestead Trust, a trust that Woods controls, that the entity was in violation of Florida Residential Landlord-Tenant Act, with Herman seeking more than $30 million for damages suffered. Herman claims by trickery, agents of the defendant convinced the plaintiff to pack a suitcase for a short vacation, and when she arrived at the airport, they told her she had been locked out of her residence. That's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. Think about it. Hey, honey, let's go on a little vacation. Just pack a bag. We'll be gone for a little bit of time. Oh, okay. So when you get to the airport, oh, here's my lawyer. That was a short vacation. So he got her out of the house to avoid all of the drama, all the episodes that's going to happen, everything. Gets her out of the house, serves her papers. That is brilliant. Court filings this week showed Herman shared the same address as Woods in Juniper, Florida. Herman claims that she was told she could not return to the house, and without legal counsel to aid her in this emotional moment, just an emotional They utilized a lawyer to confront her with a proposal to resolve the wrongdoing they were in the midst of committing. Herman alleges that she had an agreement that allowed her to live in the house for a certain amount of time. The duties that were performed by and expected of plaintiff were extensive and of an extraordinary nature in light of the overall circumstances and environment in which she lived. The complaint reads, Herman says 5 years were left on the agreement. Okay, so the duties that were performed by and expected of plaintiff. First of all, this is lawyered to death, right? They're being very, very careful the way that they put this out in the media. So the duties that were performed and expected were extensive. But she had to maybe cook dinner, maybe pick up around the place. I mean, she was invited to stay there. I think it's reasonable that you'd help out, but it sounds like they have an agreement on what she would do. And you never know, there might be some of the bump and scrumpies later on that night. I would love to see that agreement, see how they spelled that out. But these were extraordinary in nature in light of the overall circumstances. So what does she expect? She's living a life of luxury. There would be people to do all this stuff for her. Probably had surrogates in the bedroom. Who knows? Right? That's the way that she's making this sound. I don't get it. It's amazing that she even had to, they even had to work this all out in an agreement that hey, you have a place to live, your food on the table, everything's taken care of, help around the house, or, maybe expect a little fun here and there. Who knows? Herman alleges she tried to return to the residence but was refused entrance. Quote, even worse, defendant's agents removed plaintiff's personal belongings from her residence and misappropriated in excess of $40,000 in cash. Money, 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 money. I don't know about you, but having $40,000 in cash laying around, wow. $40,000 in cash that belonged to her, making scurrilous, I think that's right, and defamatory allegations about how she obtained the money, the complaint alleges. So I guess they're saying, or trying to say, that she took the money without asking. Maybe she was had an allowance, and she just kept, like an allowance to take care of the house or something of that nature, and she would save as much as possible, I guess. Maybe take a little taste off the top. Who knows? Somehow she got in excess of $40,000 in cash. On the civil cover sheet to the October complaint, Herman responded with no to the question, does this case involve allegations of sexual abuse? According to the court documents filed this week against Woods, Herman answered yes to the same question. So as we start getting into the situation of a court date and a court trial, she needs now to ramp up the allegations. Right? She has to ramp it up. Oh, he sexually abused me. I'm a victim. Before you said you weren't a victim. No. I was sexually abused. This is why, no matter how careful you are, no matter what you do, you have to be even more on top of your game when it comes to this. Now, granted, this is at a different level than most of us, right? I mean, we're not the multimillionaire golf pros that Tiger Woods is. We don't have $40,000 in cash laying around the house. Most of us don't even have a house. But still, women play these games. All right? They keep ramping it up. So you could get in an argument with your wife or girlfriend, never touched her, but then when the cops come by, oh, well, I was afraid for my life, or he raised his voice at me, and you can see where this goes. Next thing you know, you're being a victim. You've been abused. You've been hit. You've been something when it never even happened. Why? So they can ramp it up, feel more victimhood, and everybody comes to them. It's like, oh, you poor thing. This is what's happening. This is why we have to stay diligent. Let me continue here. Woods Trust has responded by asking the court to compel arbitration rather than the matter being settled in state court, claiming a previously signed non-disclosure agreement called for arbitration for the matter. Ms. Herman, alleges she negotiated the oral tenancy agreement with an agent of the trust, reads a response filed on December 20th. In reality, Ms. Herman was invited to live in the residence while she was in a relationship with her former boyfriend, Eldrick Woods, who continues to live in the residence with his 2 children. After Mr. Woods recently terminated the relationship, Ms. Herman was advised that she was no longer welcome in the residence. So, he lives in the house. This is a house that he lives in, right? With his 2 children. He breaks up with her, but he does so when she's out of the house. Why? So you don't get all the drama, right? You got your kids around. I don't know how old his kids are, but it doesn't matter. You got your kids around. You want peace in your house. So he gets her out of there. That way there, she can't say that she was, manhandled. She wasn't hit. She wasn't, yelled at, made to feel uncomfortable, whatever, however the victim dialogue goes on this. He was smart. He got her out of the house. He was also smart, if you happen to notice, the agents of the trust. So what does he do? He takes his assets and puts them in a trust. That way there, the trust owns them. He doesn't. If you notice, she's suing the trust. She's not suing Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods has separated his personal assets away from him, put them in trusts, and has now divided them up so that she can only sue one of them at a time. I don't know how many trusts he has, but obviously if he owns a house, that's one trust. Then he might have a business trust. That's where all his golf proceeds go to. And then he could have another trust if he owns another house, right? Any of the businesses. It says here, we'll get to in a second, that she was a manager at one of his restaurants. So here again, another trust for the restaurants. That way there, you separate out your assets so they can only get you for one at a time. And then the court will just say, too many is too many, right? So they'll pick and choose which one you're going for. In this case, she's going for her residence, where she used to live with Tiger Woods, where she was invited to reside at, as long as they were in a relationship. Relationship's over, you're out. And now she's going to come after him for some more money. Herman was the general manager at Woods Restaurant, the Woods Jupiter, and was the first publicly seen with Woods in 2017 at the 2017 President's Cup. Like Woods, Herman valued her private life and had no social media presence. However, she would often be in attendance when Woods would compete, and Herman was with Woods last summer at the U.S. Open Tennis Championship to watch Serena Williams. Woods' agent has not responded to Golf Digest for any more comments. So, what do we got going on here? Okay, so for whatever reason, it doesn't mention that they broke up. But now she's going after him for cash and prizes, all that good stuff, because he broke up. Now, we don't know what the relationship was. You know, maybe they just stopped seeing eye to eye. Who knows? Who knows? But the thing that gets me is how she feels that she's even more entitled to more. She's entitled to more in her eyes. It's not enough that she's, for the past roughly, 5-6 years, lived in the lap of luxury, in a huge house, had all her expenses taken care of, everything. Was given everything. But now, when it's over, she's like, I deserve more. I deserve more. So we'll have to keep an eye on this to see where this goes. See how this turns out. I'll be interested in seeing what the court case has to say. I want to see what she goes after. Let me know what you think she's going to go after in the comments below. I would really be interested. But it's just another case of women thinking that they deserve so much after they've been given so much. And they just keep going for more and more. So let's go to what I call the Matrix update. This, folks, is something that I know is not the most exciting thing to think about, but this is something that we have to think about as men. Because this is upon us, and it's going to get really nasty out there. We're just seeing the very, very beginning of what's happening. That's what I feel. Things are starting to really add together, if you will. I mean, look at the old Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum, and you'll own nothing and you will be happy, and you have to have a vaccine passport, and now the United States government is trying to get us on digital currency. Here's something that can happen on the with all this digital currency and everything else, right? Journalist Will Selton claims Citibank is locking some customers out of accounts forever. Bulwark writer Will Selton accused Citibank of permanently locking some customers out of their bank accounts, even if they show up in person with an ID. So it doesn't matter. You show up with an ID. Hey, this is me. I want my money. the bank is saying, no. Several weeks ago, I learned that Citibank locks some customers out of their accounts and refuses to release their money, even if they show up with an ID, Selton tweeted Monday. This week, Citi sent an email explicitly affirming its right to do this without cause. So they don't even have to tell you why they're doing this. Right? No, we don't have to say anything whatsoever. We just decided to do it. Quote, your money is not safe at Citi, he added in the tweet. I'll say your money's not safe at any bank whatsoever, the way this is turning out. Citi also reserved the right to close an account at any time and for any reason, with or without a cause. The bank stated in an email response to Selton after he reached out, according to the journalist's Twitter thread. So they reserve the right. We can close you out whenever we want to. We don't have to give you a reason why. Yeah. Selton further accused Citibank of bilking customers through apparently dishonest word choice. While the account closure procedure takes 30 to 60 days, those numbers apparently do not include the days the account is frozen prior to closure. Selton alleged citing Citi's email response. So they can freeze your account while it's under review, and then from there they can determine, however they determine these things, to close your account, and that can take up to 30 and 60 days. So if your account's under review for 4 weeks, while they're trying to determine why, then it's another 4 to 8 weeks before anything can happen that you can get your money back, allegedly. That's amazing. That's amazing. This is what's coming down the pike. We don't need a reason. We can just do it. Does not matter. That is ridiculous. But yet, they can do it. They can tie it up in court. You're without money for a long time. So next thing you know, you're not able to pay your electric bill, buy gasoline, cell phone's down, can't get to work. But while they're deciding what's going on. And most people live paycheck to paycheck anyways. So how are you to recover this while they're deciding whether or not they can give you back your money or not? Ridiculous. Citi will only return funds if they deem it as belonging to the customer, Selton alleged in a subsequent tweet. Citi reserves the right never to return the money, according to Selton. So Citibank can rip you off. Actually, any bank can rip you off. Any bank, they all have this policy. There's not one of them that doesn't have a policy of this nature, period. That's just, the banking industry is all in cahoots when it comes to this, right? How can we keep your money? How can we take away from you? How can we tie it up? Yeah, I mean, we saw it with the trucker strike in Canada, locking their accounts down because they were terrorists, according to Trudeau. Really? And now Citibank is just, we decided that, we're going to keep all your money. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Too bad you can't pay your bills this month. We're really sorry about that. Let me know in the comments what you think, guys. This is coming down the pike, and it's coming down faster than we realize. Okay, there's banks in South Africa that have already been shut down, not giving money to the average person like you and I, giving it to the elites. There's video footage of the elites leaving the bank with backpacks and suitcases full of money, and they are behind a fence. Pretty impressive fence, by the way. While everybody's out trying to get their money out of the ATM, and the ATM is closed down, and they are completely locked out of their funds. So unless, I guess, you have a certain number in your bank account, you can't access your money, or a certain status, or as the Chinese would put it, a certain social credit score, which is probably on your passport, vaccine or otherwise. But let me know what you think. I'm interested in this. One of the things that I would suggest is if you can, withdraw cash. Keep it in the house. Keep it hidden. Keep it someplace safe. For God's sakes, don't tell your wife or girlfriend where it's at, or even your kids. And be prepared. For some reason, if the banks are closed, or the banks have to go through a reorganization like SVB just did. You know, Silicon Valley Bank just went down this week or last week. And there's a lot of people that are trying to get their money out of there as soon as they can. And it's going to take a little time. Sure, they say it's FDIC insured. But here again, like Citibank, it could take up to 30 to 60 days or more. And you could be without cash. Keep some cash on hand. That's what my advice would be. Be prepared. Keep watching for bank runs. Keep watching for little threads here and there, because this is happening. So, don't mean to end off on such a negative note, but we have to watch ourselves. We have to be aware of what we're doing. So please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think. Have you seen any of this happening around you, or any news articles? The more that we can know about this, the more we can pass on, the better, because we can be more informed. We can make better decisions. So we're not caught all of a sudden out in the cold trying to figure out what's going on because your account has been locked. And it's not just because of you. They could just lock the whole bank itself. Could just be down. This is kind of some scary stuff. Scary times. Thank you for watching this long, and we'll see you soon.